We have 60 actors in Macbeth in 60 minutes, and we have 36 actors in The Tempest.
That's crazy.
It's a lot, but it goes back to finding a home in the theater.
Hey, what's up you guys? And welcome back to Pardon My Success! Today I am here with Colleen Hammond Whitmore. We are here today to discuss the beautiful, incredible Hobgoblin Playhouse's performance of Macbeth, as well as your entire background and how you got here today, because Colleen is an incredibly talented director, producer, casting director. I honestly don't even know what else, but I'm excited to find out because she has been doing this for so long and she's gonna tell us more. So how did you get involved in storytelling?
So I think it started when I was a kid. I grew up in a really small town in upstate New York, and I used to walk back and forth. We were little kids by ourselves, about 7, to my neighbors, and I just started telling myself stories, you know. But as the leaves would change, spring would become summer, and summer would become fall, and I just tell myself stories. I wrote my first play when I was in 3rd grade.
So true.
Yeah, and then in high school, I got involved in theater, and it just became a home for me, a passion, and I just continued and got my degree in theater. Yay, theater.
Yay, theater!
And that's where the stories are. I mean, the originality, the newness, and also what's going on right now.
Absolutely.
Very relevant.
Oh my god. And I think that's one of the coolest things about theater is that the new interpretations, the new meanings that you can always find even in like the oldest of works. Obviously, we're doing Shakespeare right now, and even a modern Americanized interpretation of that has so many new layers that we're uncovering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're doing Macbeth in 60 minutes.
Yay.
I'm also actually concurrently doing The Tempest in 60 minutes.
Which are both double casts, might I add.
Yes, we have 60 actors in Macbeth in 60 minutes, and we have 36 actors in The Tempest.
That's crazy.
It's a lot, but it goes back to finding a home in the theater and relationships. And I always say I'm about 2 things as a director. Opportunity, because I don't think actors have enough opportunity, especially to really hone in on their craft. And the classics, that's what they do. They help actors really stretch themselves and learn. And there's really this core belief that if you can do the classics like Shakespeare, you can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I feel like being a theater major, they were like, you have to know the basics first because you need to understand where theater came from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so many young artists were in college or in conservatory during COVID.
Yep.
So they didn't have the opportunity to really tackle these roles.
Oh, no. Yeah, literally, my junior and senior year of college, there was like no theater happening.
Right, exactly.
We did like a masked Spoon River anthology. Yeah. Senior year. Yeah. It's a good time. I choreographed it. We all had to be 6 feet apart. It was great. It was great.
Exactly. I went back into the theater in 2021, and what I produced, everyone was wearing masks and had to be 3 to 6 feet apart, and it was crazy.
It's insane.
So this is actually where I came up with the idea of doing the classics in 60 minutes.
And that's incredible. I feel like 60 minutes is the exact amount of time my brain span has.
Well, that's what I've been told by our audience.
How long I can give Shakespeare, all right? That's it.
I've been doing theater for 30 some odd years.
Since you were born.
Yeah. Thank you.
You came out of the womb and 30 years later, here you are.
Exactly. So I've been doing theater for a really long time, and I have made a living in it, which is rare and lucky.
And a success.
Very fortunate. The way it started was I went to college for theater, to State University of New York.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. SUNY.
Which one?
2. I went to SUNY Morrisville, which is Syracuse, and then SUNY Fredonia, which is Buffalo area.
My mom went to SUNY Cortland.
Yeah. All about the SUNYs.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So great education. Yes. And so when I was an undergrad, I was studying theater and also an RA, a resident, involved with my community.
Yeah.
And I had a great mentor who said, okay, so I always say 100 years ago, it was more like 30 something. I was acting, and he was really honest. And I know in today's world, everyone's like, oh, you can't say things like this. But I was told, look, you're not 5 feet tall. You're not a size 0. I know. In 2025, that's insane. But back then...
Are you shorter than 5 feet tall?
No, I mean, I'm 5'9".
Oh,
So
okay, you're a model then.
No, but
all right, shut up, sir.
But as a female, also that wasn't a triple threat in New York. It was hard to get roles, you know. And he was honest, and he said, "Look, I'm not saying you can't. You're talented, but," he's like, "the theater is your home. There are so many other things you can do. You can write, you can direct, you can produce, you can stage manage, you can do lights, sound, whatever." And he said, "In between our shows, here's the theater. Do whatever you want." And then he handed me the first play I ever directed was For Color Girls That Have Committed Suicide When the Rainbow Is Not Enough.
Such a long name.
It is. And it was just off Broadway.
So cool.
Yeah, it was
Your
really,
first
really
show was
cool.
an off-Broadway one, okay.
And you know, here's a little white girl directing a traditionally African-American play and just really focusing on inclusion and acceptance and working together. And then I was also given another play called Valdez is Coming, and that was about a woman on a reservation, wrote it about the angst between Native Americans and Latin Americans at the time in the 1990s. And it became this huge event on our campus, and the president came and spoke, and we were sold out. And I was like, it's about community.
Yeah.
It's about bringing people together. We all meet in the theater.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
So I was like, all right, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Hell yeah.
So I wrote a play.
How many plays have you written now, actually?
Oh, goodness, I don't even know.
But I was just going to ask, how many plays have you directed?
Oh, goodness, probably 100. I've been,
That's insane.
Yeah, I've been directing for a very long time.
Well, because you said that you do 12 a year.
So, yes. I mean, so in the Hobgoblin, I've just been contracted my company, CHW Productions, Colleen Hammond Whitmore Productions.
Go follow her. It'll be all down there. It'll be great.
Is now officially one of the resident theater companies of the new Hobgoblin, and we're doing 12 shows in the next 12 months here.
That's insane.
It's awesome.
So is it literally one a month?
Well, we're doing their festivals.
Yes.
So we're starting with their Spooky Fest.
Yes.
So
That's what's happening right now.
Macbeth and Tempest. And then the next one we're doing will be their Bard Fest, which is Shakespeare.
Cute.
And then
Shakespeare?
I think it'll be all Shakespeare
That's
for
fine.
that one, for the Bard Fest. And then, of course, the Hollywood Fringe Festival.
Yes. Wait, so do you primarily do Shakespeare, or is that just like the Hobgoblin?
No, that's me.
That's you.
That's
Okay.
me. They do everything.
But you are the bard.
Yeah, so this is how it happened. So I wrote a play about college life. So all those amazing, exciting, terrible things that happen while you're in undergrad. So big issues. So anything from assault to homophobia to you oversleep and miss a class. Like
Real.
all the college stuff.
Yeah.
And so we put it up, and it was about 20 scenes about college life. And a lot of people came from the university as well as my friends, and people said, "Oh, it was so great," which, you know, being in the arts, that's what people say.
Yeah.
But because I worked for the university as well as being part of the theater community, people had said from the university, "Oh, no, it's really important that people see what you do." And I was like, "Oh, interesting." I was 19 at the time.
It's a great thing to say to a 19-year-old.
Yeah. I was like, "You're right.
This is important.
It is important." So I started putting it up in a park, and then a coffee shop, and then a bar, and then my next university. So it was first at SUNY Morrisville, then SUNY Fredonia, and I put it up there, and they were structured differently. And they're like, "Okay, you can put it up, but the theaters are booked. You have to find your own space." But I had already been finding my own space.
Okay.
So I put it up in the residence halls, like in those big open areas on college campuses.
That's so cool.
And people showed up.
Yeah.
Like hundreds of students were showing up. And after one performance, 2 people came up to me and said, "So collectively, we've worked with new student orientation for 40 years. And this is the best new student program we've ever seen. Would you like to put up your play in front of 6,000 people this summer?" Yes, and. Right? Improv. Yes, and.
Yes, and.
Yes, and. So we
Say more.
Exactly. So I walked out of that meeting and I said it's going to be nationwide. And 8 years later it was. And 33 years later, we've had an audience of that play of 7.5 million people.
What is this play called?
It's called Life on Campus, and the only time you'll ever see it is if you're on one of my campuses that I work with. And so there was a point I was doing 20 to 30 shows every summer across the country at different universities.
Different cast? Or
Different cast. And that's where we got to 3 days and 2 casts.
Shoot!
So I started with theater students at SUNY Fredonia, and then the next school I went to, they said, "So we really don't have theater students. Could you work with orientation leaders?"
Yeah.
Yes, and.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next university, we have RAs, or what, can you work with them? Yes, and. Okay, so we have 50 people. Can you put them all in your play? And I was like, well, it's a 40-minute play. How about we have multiple casts? Because you'll have multiple performances.
Yeah.
So, starting with the theater background, a little bit of improv, which I am terrible at improv. I love improv.
I failed the groundlings. It's okay.
But I respect it.
Me too.
Respect it. So
I'm hurt deeply that they failed me. It's okay.
But they're amazing, but
no, love them. True. Nothing but love.
But
give me a script, please.
Yeah, exactly. That's my problem. I always want to put words in people's
No,
mouths.
I should not be left to my own devices.
So that was going really well. And then the climate changed. COVID hit. Other stuff happened, politically. Different things happened. And so I started losing clients. And we shut down, and the theater shut down, and the university shut down, and that's what I did for 30 years. And I was like, okay, this is my home. I'm, in theater, people are like, oh, you've been in it for 30 years. You should retire. I'm like, retire? We don't retire in the arts. No. It's what we love.
Exactly.
It's who we are. It's what makes us get up in the morning.
Exactly. And also, I'm sorry, but I feel like having a purpose, especially one this important, is what keeps people going, and it gives you meaning.
Exactly. And so I had this idea actually a long time ago, but I really solidified it during COVID. And I said, so I've been doing this 3-day training because, I'd go and they're like, oh, how long does it take to put up a play? A couple weeks. We have 3 days. Yes, yeah. Okay, so how am I going to figure out how to train people in 3 days? And a lot of the actors I worked with on campuses were non-actors. Yeah. It was like 101. So I was teaching them 0 to 100 to stage, and then they perform in front of thousands of people every summer.
That's crazy.
So if I could do that, my thought was I could take professional actors and teach them classics or direct them in a classic in 3 days.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
And so I did that. So I fell in love with the Fringe, with the Hollywood Fringe several years ago as a patron. I'm a huge patron of the arts. I buy tickets, I attend shows, and I was like, okay, maybe let me take my idea and bring it to the Fringe. Yeah. So I started with Midsummers last year. It went really, really well. And I was like, what if I do 2 next year? So I did 2. So this past Fringe, I did Romeo and Juliet in 60 minutes, and As You Like It in 60 minutes.
So great.
And we had 100 artists working, and we just were a force in the Fringe. They have, 1,000 actors and like a tenth.
You're a tenth of, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, are you the one editing it down to 60 minutes every time?
I am.
That's also insane.
It is. So I've now officially edited 5 Shakespeares down to 60 minutes in a little over a year.
That's actually crazy. And no offense to Shakespeare himself, I didn't notice anything missing.
Thank you. Thank you. From being a patron of the arts, also, we don't have the focus for 3 hours. I mean, I love Shakespeare, and I respect people who put together 3-hour Shakespeares, but it's hard to focus for 3 hours anymore. We swipe after 10 seconds if we're bored. So my versions are fast.
Yep.
I always say to my actors, move fast, speak slowly, so people understand. And the amount of audience that's walked out and said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
I got it.
I finally got Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Literally.
Exactly.
No offense to my boyfriend, but he came and he was like, I finally get Macbeth.
Yay!
I got it.
Yeah. Exactly. So really, really, I'm very lucky because I've done theater in a way that I get gratitude endlessly from my universities, from the people who not only had the opportunity to do that dream role,
Seriously. These roles are, bruh, I have 2 lines and I'm like, I'm a little nervous. I don't know how, like, a Macbeth, a Lady Macbeth, 3 days?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now, with my Shakespeare, I do give them the script a month ahead of time.
Okay, yes.
So they are off book before they come. So it's not like they go from 0
It's
to
not like
fully.
you have 3 days to memorize. But like you only have 3 days of rehearsal.
Only 3 days of rehearsal. So if you're that actor who's like, well, I don't learn until I'm in the moment, it's not going to work for you. I also trust my actors, and I think that's also a unique take. I truly believe in actors and their craft and what they bring to it. And I'm not saying I don't tweak a little bit, but in order to put something together in 3 days, I also have amazing assistant directors who really help people find their characters and their purpose. And
shout out Amani. Love you, baby.
But it's fun. It's fun. It's fast. And I'm also getting gratitude about the community because, we're on our phones. We don't talk to each other as much. And, there's all these studies about loneliness. You come to my rehearsal.
Oh, it's so
you
fun.
make a lot of friends.
It's so fun.
And I know it sounds crazy because we're all adults.
Yeah.
But we need connection. We need community.
I feel like this was the first time since childhood theater camps that I remember, like summer theater camps. And that's how I fell in love with the theater. My first production, I was in 101 Dalmatians when I was 4 years old, and it was a summer theater camp. And it was like, oh, this is community. This is friendship. This is belonging.
Yeah.
For like the first real time, I feel like. And theater kids, we have maybe a reputation of being a little bit strange. And it's a great thing because then everyone can come together and we're all a little weird, and that's okay.
It is.
And that's beautiful. And everyone's so talented that you get to be like, yes, baby, get up there and do that thing.
Exactly. And in a town like LA, you know, I was a little concerned because I was like, can I get 80 people to do 3 days of Shakespeare?
Yes, you
but
can.
It's actually perfect for most actors in this town because they're auditioning, they have day jobs, and they're like, oh, 3 days for rehearsal, 3 performances, easy.
And it's more performance opportunity than you're getting for anything else that you're doing in LA. Everything you're showing up day of, filming, leaving.
Exactly.
You don't get the community, you don't get the experience like as much. You're not getting any practice. You're doing it and you're leaving.
Exactly. So
I've been wondering, how has the casting process been like for all of this? And how are you doing this all by yourself?
Yeah, it's a lot of prep. It's a lot of prep, and it's an understanding, very vision focused. I'm like, okay, so I know I'm doing Macbeth in 60 minutes. Okay, so great. So it's a checkoff list. It's like, okay, so I obviously have to edit it. So as I'm posting, I'm also editing at the same time. I've realized that I can edit a Shakespeare down in 45 hours. So I have to find 45 hours.
I love that you've timed it.
I have.
And that the time, it's 45, how many days is that?
I mean, it's like a week. It's like a full-time job week of work. But, you know, I have to fit it in with everything else.
40-hour work week. I'm so sad.
And so that's how long it takes me to edit one down. And then, you know, with Actors Access backstage, I put it out and I was like, am I going to get the people? But when I put it out last year for Midsummers, I had 1,500 people submit for, at that point, 40 roles. 1,500 people submitted.
How many people submitted for Macbeth?
I think we were at like 940 people.
And then also Tempest as well, because I didn't audition for this. Also, I told someone this earlier, I was like, I never auditioned for Macbeth, technically. I auditioned for The Tempest.
Yeah.
And then I submitted for Macbeth, and you were like, here in Macbeth. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Great, love this. And then I found out that you were directing everything, and I was like, oh my God, the casting director is also doing all of this, which is so cool that you actually, you're hand-picking everyone.
I am.
And how is going through all of that?
So it's fun. I love theater. I love artists. So I love auditions and watching people put their best self forward. And I wish all actors could watch tapes because...
Oh my God, I agree.
And it's also made my life much easier. I know a lot of theater directors specifically like to be back in the theater for auditions. I kind of like the modern world.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing the auditions. So I can watch. So I can go through them and then I can watch my 2 favorites. And the great thing with double casting is if I have 2 favorites, I can...
And they can both be in it. Well, that's what I was a little worried. I'm like, is Macbeth here? One of our Macbeths is coming. The other one is unfortunately ill, but we're gonna try to get a little tape from him to be involved in this. And you know what? I'll do my last question while he's also here. So, okay, let's go get Macbeth. Whoa, this is Colleen. Bye. BRB. And we're back. That was so magical. We are here with one of our Macbeths, Greg Elson. I have not actually performed with you in your Fleance version, so you have not actually attempted to murder me yet. But tomorrow night, on Halloween, that will happen. But I am so excited to have you here. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the theater in general, and then also with Colleen?
Absolutely, yeah, I'd be happy to. So I originally got into theater by wanting to become a writer and applied to a high school that offered a playwriting class. And it was the only high school that had any kind of specialized writing thing, but they also required you to do performances. So before I could even get into a playwriting class, I was in shows, and the actor bug hit, and the rest is history.
Hard to get rid of after that.
Absolutely.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from New Jersey.
Wow, look at this East Coast vibes.
Yeah.
Very fun, very fun. Oh my goodness. Well, what has it been like Macbething?
It's been amazing. It's been such a lovely challenge, and it's such a complicated role, and there's so much, has already been analyzed and studied and picked apart, so there was so much research that was available to do to inform the performance that I wanted to give, and then to also then apply all of that to the 60-minute version, which the way I approached it was the text is what we're using. Yeah. So I used the full-length play as a reference point, but the text that we have, that Colleen edited together masterfully,
insane,
is the truth. So if it's not in that, it's informative, but it's not necessarily the text. So using the 60-minute version really also, I think, shed light on things that I hadn't picked up on from the full-length play.
Yeah. How many performances would you say that you have carried in this kind of way?
I think not many, not many. So it has been, certainly my mindset for this whole production was I want to come in and I want to set the tone and set the bar for this is the work that we're going to do and this is how we're going to approach the everyday rehearsal and we're going to take it seriously and we're going to do this. And that's really all you can do. And, if Macbeth is slacking off in the corner, then nobody else is going to be taking it seriously. So that was sort of my mindset coming into this.
I mean, even just like being on your lines, everyone's taking their cue from you. You have like 95% of the lines.
Well, I don't know if it's that much, but yeah.
At least 55, I feel like. I don't know, percentage-wise. I'm sure you do. Colleen just has the math somewhere. So was last year your first performance together? Mm-hmm. Not Much Ado, what was it?
This summer.
As You Like It, in the summer.
That's right. So what was that performance like compared to this preparation?
Well, that was my first time working with Colleen and working in this particular process with only 3 days of rehearsal and a 60-minute Shakespeare. And so I really didn't know what to expect going into that one, as a lot of people, their first time working with Colleen, I think, have that feeling of, uh-oh. And it was also my first time doing Shakespeare in about, I want to say 8 or 9 years.
Wow.
So for me, it was getting used to the text again, getting used to the language, and also having to come in off book because we didn't have time in rehearsals to be, you have to come in off book. It was particularly challenging, even in a smaller role. It was equally as challenging simply because I was stretching muscles that I hadn't used in a very long time. But it was a really fun process, won over immediately after the initial doubt of what are we going to do? How is this going to work? And then seeing the magic happen and seeing it unfold was just amazing. And so then coming into this one, it was a no-brainer to say, all right, we got this.
Have you seen a lot of growth from the summer to now to Macbeth and our Greg?
Yeah, I mean, he brings so much to the table already. So he has a strong background in Shakespeare, so he really understands it. And again, as he was saying, he really takes it seriously. So it's not like he's like, it's only 3 days. He's like, no, but I get to play Macbeth. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to take advantage of this. And I think that's what's really important about my process is that, yes, it's 3 days and it's in a small theater, but you have an opportunity to play a role that's a bucket list role.
Absolutely.
Literally.
And most serious actors, especially if you come from the stage, want certain roles.
Yeah.
And if you have that opportunity, you're going to give it everything you have.
Yeah.
Which he does every time he steps on the stage.
Oh, amazing. And because we have 2 casts, which I think it's crazy that you and Seth, our other Macbeth, were also twins over the summer.
Yes.
That's so cute. There's just something about you guys.
Yeah.
Colleen's like, they're just great together. But they can't be on stage together. You can never see them at the same time.
We've never
only
been
separately.
Never been in the same room.
No, literally. Every time, just get him out of here. Yeah, that's beautiful. No, that makes sense. But what differences have you seen maybe in performances or interpretations between our Macbeths?
Well, that's the amazing thing is most directors really fight with themselves or with their casting directors, but I'm both.
Fighting with yourself.
You do about what's the understanding, what's the vibe, what that you want to see on stage with a role like Macbeth. Because it can be interpreted hundreds, if not thousands of ways. Seriously, it can, and it's been that way because it's been done that many times. And so it's going, okay, what does he bring to it? What does Seth bring to it? I usually go with different. They're very different men, different actors, and they bring their own take to both roles, which is really cool. So if you see a show on the 31st and the 1st, they're completely different shows because they have different leads, different Lady M's, different cast. I mean, so again, it does come from frequently the leads, and they set a standard for the cast. And I think, honestly, Greg's interpretation on my director's side is very internal. You see the fight within him. Where Seth, I mean, partially he's a very tall man.
Very large.
And a lot of it is external trying to fight the internal. So it's a really interesting, different dynamic of both men, but both great and worth watching and worth the ticket price, I think.
And if I could piggyback on that, just the act of having 2 casts for me was another one of those what moments the first time I did this. But what I loved watching in both As You Like It and here in Macbeth is when you're not on stage running the scene, you're in the audience watching that scene be run with your counterpart.
Yeah.
And getting to watch not just for myself watching Seth, but also seeing other actors in my cast watching the other cast's interpretation or their equivalent characters, you start to see people getting good ideas from each other or being inspired or encouraged to take bigger chances, bigger choices that maybe if they were the only one playing that role, they wouldn't have been pushed that way. So it's been really fun to watch people grow and develop by having that counterpart, even if they're not doing the same thing.
Exactly. That is so cool. And I do think that's something that it's hard in the theater because it's like when you're on camera, you can watch yourself back and you can see your performance and be like, I want to change that thing. But when you don't have that, yeah, being able to see somebody else and also see their different interpretation. I was gonna ask if you had a chance to actually like sit down with Seth and talk about that. What was that like?
Yeah, so we met up and talked about the character, and we went over some lines, but mostly ended up being just a character discussion where we were focusing on different things. We were realizing different aspects of the character, and it was amazing because I think it helped both of us unlock different parts of the character where we were able to both bring, oh, this is what I've been working on, and it's something that I hadn't considered, and I was able to bring an aspect to a scene that he was struggling with, and he told me then the next day that it like completely unlocked that scene for him. I was very proud of that. I was like, yes, you're welcome.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
I mean, that's another reason I do this. Again, community, because artists need artist friends.
Yeah.
You know, we need friends outside the well, but people that understand what you're going through as an actor. That the fact that there's someone else that's in that same moment as you, and you can play off, and you can go, oh, that's a choice, not what I'm looking for. Or that's a choice, because I always tell my actors, steal from each other.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, very few people are going to see both shows.
Yeah.
If maybe me
Real.
and a couple other
Yeah.
artists working on the
Yeah.
project. But really, they're going to see it. And I think I would love to see more theaters do it this way. I know understudies has always been a big thing, and I understand that with big names. But when it's not, and it's just all the artists coming together to do projects, having two people in the same role, also with illness or reason people can't be on stage, shows get shut down all the time. Mine don't.
We literally had someone
don't.
jump in day of the other day.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah.
We were like, every single person in the cast was running the lines with that person because they were coming in day of, ready to go.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this.
Well, and that's the thing is, in the last 15 months, I've created a community of, you know, Colleen Method.
Yeah.
The Colleen Method!
60-minute shows done in 3 days. I was working with Tempest first, so I worked with that 1 week. Then the next week was Macbeth, and I lost some people because when you're working with 60 people, you lose people.
Things happen.
And Tempest people that I just met said, I'm in, and they jumped over to the other cast.
We had so many Tempest
Yeah.
folks.
We have
That
3
was
people
great.
that I met the week before that love the process so much. They're like, I'm in. I have time.
I had people in this one being like, are you gonna do the next one? I'm like, if they let me, it's not up to me. What do you mean, am I gonna do it? If I can, I suppose, yes, I would love to, please.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm available. But I also wanted to say, I think the dual cast is so special because yes, I feel like in most performances, even if you have an understudy, there is still that sense of you are not on equal footing.
Right.
You don't have somebody that is actually, as you were saying, going through the exact same thing as you at this point in time. And also like what is it, bad artist copy, but good artist steal.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah, you get the interpretation a little, it informs your decisions and it's bringing more to the performance. And I would love to know how the memorization process went, specifically.
Yes, so the memorization process was definitely the hardest part of the whole thing, I think. I knew going into, from As You Like It, that even in a role that did not have as many lines, it took a long time.
Yeah.
So I started early. I think you sent me the script at the end of September, and I pretty much started right away.
Wow.
So even though we only were in the space for 3 days, I was working on the script for about a month. And I would just drill the lines pretty much every day. I would add a scene and then start from the top, very similar to what we do in rehearsals. And just drilled the lines over and over again. I met up with the actor playing Banquo in my cast. I've met up with Seth. I met up with people from the Tempest cast that I met through the process last spring, and we ran lines. And for me, it was mostly about understanding, what am I trying to say here?
Yeah.
You know, with Shakespeare in general, what are you trying to say? And understanding why those words are the right words for that moment.
Yeah.
And that for me is how, for anything, but especially for Shakespeare, how I can get my memorization to a point where I can say exactly the right word. Thine, couldst, whatever it is, like, why is that the right word in that moment?
That's super cool. Were you doing the first letter of every paragraph or any of that? Or?
I've heard of that and I want to try it, but I've never done that before, and I didn't want to try something new for this particular memorization.
Yeah. No, so you just wrote sitting down and being like, drill.
Yeah, and sometimes, some nights, if my goal was to do one scene that evening and I only got one line, that's how much. If it was word perfect, then I moved on.
That's incredible. Good for you, genuinely.
So when I direct, a lot of people want to know how I actually direct it in 3 days, and it's layering. It's a very unique way because I know traditionally in theater we work on act 1, scene 1, then act separately.
Yeah.
Where I actually, in 8 hours, well 7 because we have lunch, in 7 hours I start at the beginning and then I just keep adding, but then I go back to the beginning. So there's a flow that. It's also a confidence for the actors, especially the ones who've never worked with me, that, oh, wait, by the end of day one, we have half a show together.
Yeah.
And we've run it, especially the beginning, multiple times. So they're getting a flow and they're like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. So by the end of day two, I always have a full show together.
Wow, that's really cool. And I'm a dancer, so it's like choreography.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that is how I feel like it.
Yeah.
You're running it.
I'm running it.
And you start at the beginning every time.
I do. And you know, every once in a while I get a little pushback from artists that are like, I have to, you know, it's too many times. Never. Look, I know I have friends that have done Broadway and they'll be on it for 25 years doing the exact same show.
role.
And they're very happy and content doing the same thing over and over and over again because it's still artistry every time you walk out on stage.
And you find a new interpretation every time too.
Exactly. And it's not as if we're doing this for weeks or months, we're doing it for 3 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, my whole thing is I guarantee if you were with me for those 3 days, you will know exactly what you're doing, you know, and so it's a good thing.
Literally, it's insane. I wasn't able to come to all 3 days. I was only able to come to one day, and I still came in and knew what I was doing. So that was great. It was we ran it like 5 times that day.
Exactly.
I was shocked. I was like, this is great. Okay, cool. Amazing. Love it. This is so amazing. Well, I want to do a little workshop portion, but my last question that I have for the both of you, and you can answer individually, what is a piece of advice that you have for young artists and creatives that are just starting out?
You have to create your own work. You have to create your own work. If you write. If direct, find writers, find actors. If you're an actor, go to workshops, go to, like anything you can do, meet endless people, because a lot of people are getting gigs out of my work. Because I always say, talk to everybody, because there's writers, directors, producers that are actors today, but tomorrow you don't know what they'll be doing.
Exactly.
And also be kind. In the industry, we all work together. I may be a director, but they may be hiring me at something in the future. So that's the two things, is create your own work and be kind. Beautiful.
I love that, and I second all of that. And also, say yes to things. Do work. Doing work gets more work, and it builds community, as you said. And it's so much better to do work than to just sit at home on the couch all day. No matter what the role, no matter what the process. Just do it.
Just do it! One thing I want to say before we go into the little workshop portion, it's basically a theater troupe, the way that you're kind of building this. Yeah. But if you have acting studios where you have filters of students into it, that would be really cool.
So I'm actually starting my first classes in January.
Ooh.
Teaching the Colleen Method of what it takes to put a show together in 3 days. Also how to get cast, and how to cast, because that's a big issue. How do I sift through 1,500 submissions?
Literally.
And find a really solid cast. And a lot of it's instinct, but it's also attending performances and seeing things, and so I'll be teaching that.
That's so cool.
Right here at the Hobgoblin.
Here at the Hobgoblin, and where can we sign up for that?
Through the Hobgoblin as soon as it's
And it will be up and in the bio, and we're very excited. Wow, I didn't even know that was happening. What else is there? What else is happening? What else is coming up for both of you?
Oh my gosh, I'm in another show this same weekend. Director is someone that I met through this process. The proof is in the pudding, it's right there, it happens. And then after that, because I've done 2 shows in the same amount of time, in the same month of October, I'm gonna sleep a lot in November.
As you should. Yeah,
that's the plan.
Yeah. But you can always find Greg also down below and hire him for things.
Yeah,
because he writes and acts.
That's true. And also my improv team performs on the west side of LA every other Monday at the West Side Comedy Club.
We were talking about
it. All good things, I'm sure.
No, yes. Well, how we are not good at it.
Not good, but we respect it.
We wish we were good, and we respect you. And so everyone should go watch Greg do improv. I love that.
So my next 2 shows are in December. I'm actually auditioning right now for Christmas Carol in 60 Minutes. Yes, it's gonna be right here. And then the other one is The Winter's Tale in 60 Minutes, which I'm currently editing.
That's so exciting!
And they will take place here.
Oh my god, everybody go get your tickets. They're gonna be down below. I don't know if the tickets are up yet, but go look. They might be. Everything's gonna be tagged. I'm so excited. Wow, this is so exciting. Well, everyone go find all that, and let's maybe do a little bit of a workshop if you're okay with it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Greg is gonna give us a little bit of interpretation and performance, and I'm so pumped. Be free.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind? A false creation, proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain which was not so before? It is the bloody business that informs thus to mine eyes. Hear not my steps, which way they walk, and take the present horror from the time. whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deed too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That was beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about where Macbeth is at this point in the play?
So yeah, this is literally right before the middle of the night while Duncan is sleeping. He is about to go and kill the king to usurp the throne. And he hallucinates a dagger, which is up for debate. How much has he hallucinated before this moment? Whether this is something that has come from his being a soldier in war and suffering from PTSD, or is this something new because of the guilt that he's already feeling for contemplating killing the king and trying to seize the throne illegitimately.
Yeah. So it's like I saw the internal struggle of like, do I like what, and then he goes off, and then he goes and kills, and he does a murder,
and he
does a little murder.
Yeah.
There's lots of murder in this show.
There's quite a few murders, just a couple. You are amazing, incredible. Was this the audition monologue?
It was tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
There's a feel. Like, there was a moment where you and I were almost holding our breath.
Yeah, we were. It was cute.
And if I feel that, through, like, and I do now through the camera, you know, that I was like, oh, okay. You know, right? Oh, okay.
Mental note.
Yeah, I mean, because
I'm just so excited to perform with you tomorrow. Wow, what a great job. This is so good. You did so good.
Thank you.
So good. Wow, my heart. And also, I guess, did you have a...
Well, it's just, you know, it's interesting because I've been doing theater for a really long time. And Shakespeare, I think, as you age, becomes more and more relevant to you. Yeah. And, you know, I'm on the other side, like I'm in my 50s.
You're in your 30s. We already established it.
So for me, it's about looking back and was it important? Was I just, you know, did I make a difference? And I'm grateful because I feel like I have.
You have. We've already discussed.
You know,
1.7 million people of difference.
So I really feel that I get the gratitude that I give, and karma is real. You know, you put it out there and you get it back. So be positive and be kind and do art.
Absolutely.
Do art.
Do art.
Do art. Go out there and do some art and perform and have some fun while doing it. It's a fun thing.
It is a fun thing. It's a
fun.
play. That's what I always say.
Playing.
It's a play. We're still playing, you know.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, I love you all. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Hi, this is Seth Kuhn, and I also play Macbeth. She should have died hereafter. There would have been time for such a word. Tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury and signifying nothing.
Thank you. That's all.
Are you PMSing?